Robert, have you ever been down to the southern part of the Gulf on the Bonita Run?
Always wanted to.
It's gorgeous.
Are bonita fish big?
This scene shouldn't really work. It's just a family dinner. A few people sitting around a table, some awkward conversation,
I was asking about the story.
What's this guy's deal?
a couple interruptions,
Sorry, now I forget where my story was going.
Ah, damn it, Dale.
nothing crazy on paper, and yet somehow it turns into one of the funniest scenes in Step Brothers. Not because of what happens, but because nobody at that table is actually living in the same version of reality. At this dinner, there aren't just personalities, there are three completely different operating systems running at once. Derek is living in a world full of status.
You were busy fishing with Mark Cuban.
No,
Everything he says, everything he does is about control, image, and how he's being perceived in the room, especially in front of people he wants to impress.
they are what's called a trophy fish? Yeah, they're pretty big. I'm sorry.
Dale is in a completely different system. There's no strategy and no filter.
Don't be mad at Dale for ruining the story. And possibly the evening.
If a thought appears, it comes out. And the parents? They're just trying to keep the night from collapsing. They understand the rules of normal dinner conversation. They just happen to be trapped in a situation where those rules don't apply anymore. So right from the start, this isn't one conversation, it's three. Also, if you enjoy these types of videos, make sure to subscribe for more. And then it starts. Dale interrupts, completely unprompted.
Are bonita fish big?
Starts performing like this is a normal moment to break into song, and in his world, nothing weird just happened. He's participating, contributing. He thinks this is fine, but in Derek's world, something just got hijacked in front of people who matter, and that difference is everything. Same moment, two completely different interpretations, and the second that gap opens, the scene is already over, because now it's not about what happens next, it's about how far apart their realities are going to drift. Here's why Derek is so important in this scene. He's not just annoyed, he's calculating. Every reaction is filtered through how it looks. Every response is measured. He's trying to regain control of a room that he feels slipping away from him. So when Dale does something absurd, Derek doesn't respond casually. He escalates.
I was asking about the story.
What's this guy's deal?
I don't know, son. It's okay.
But here's the problem. He's escalating against someone who doesn't realize there's an escalation happening. So every attempt to regain control just creates more chaos. And that's where the comedy starts to compound. Dale never shifts gears. That's what makes it worse. He doesn't get defensive. He doesn't back off.
I was asking about the story.
He doesn't recognize tension building. So from his perspective, everything he's doing is still fine, even as the room gets more and more hostile. So now you have this loop. Derek pushes harder. Dale stays unchanged, and the gap between them keeps widening. Not because either one is changing, but because neither one is adjusting at all. And this is where the scene really clicks, because the audience gets something neither of them gets. We see both realities at the same time. We understand why Derek is angry. We understand why Dale is confused, but they don't understand each other at all. So every line hits differently depending on which side you're watching it from. Derek thinks he's defending himself. Dale thinks he's just existing. And the audience is sitting in the middle watching both of these interpretations collide in real time. That gap is where the humor lives.
Ah, damn it, Dale.
Most conversations correct themselves at some point. Someone notices things are getting tense. Someone resets the tone. Someone explains what's going wrong. And that never happens here. Instead, every interaction feeds the next one. Dale does something. Derek reacts bigger than necessary. Dale interrupts that reaction as random hostility. So he continues doing what he was doing, which makes Derek even more aggressive. And the cycle keeps tightening. Nobody exits the loop, and nobody resets it. It just keeps stacking, until the dinner stops feeling like a conversation, and starts feeling like a breakdown that nobody can interrupt. And the parents sit in the only normal perspective at the table, which is exactly why they're powerless. They understand what a dinner is supposed to look like. They understand how people are supposed to behave. They can see every rule being broken in real time, but they can't correct it, because they're not dealing with people who are slightly off. They're dealing with people who are operating on completely different logic systems. So all they can do is react. try to smooth it over, try to keep it moving, even though they already know where it's heading. And this is where Step Brothers becomes really consistent, because this isn't a one-off dynamic, it's the entire film. Every major scene works the same way. Two people enter an interaction. Neither one is reading the same situation, so everything spirals out of control faster than it should. The job interview, the bunk bed fight, even the best friends moment. It's always the same engine, but the dinner scene is the clearest version of it, because there's nowhere to hide. It's slow and grounded, and it's just people sitting at a table, and still everything falls apart. Not because of a joke, not because of a twist, but because every person in that room is living in a different version of what's happening, and none of those versions overlap. That's why it works, because the comedy isn't in what they're saying, it's in the fact that they're not actually talking to each other at all. Most comedy comes from misunderstanding, but Step Brothers takes it further. These characters don't just misunderstand each other for a moment, they never actually sync up in the first place. Derek leaves thinking he's been disrespected, Dale leaves thinking it was just dinner, and the parents leave knowing nothing they did mattered. Same table at the same night, completely different realities, and that's why the scene sticks, because it never becomes one conversation. It stays three until the very end.